Hi, my name is Dr. John Douillard. I want to talk to you today about marijuana. Marijuana has been legal now in certain states for medical use. It's also been recently legalized for recreational use in certain states. There's research on both sides of the aisle. Lots of research saying there's benefits, medical uses of marijuana that are hard to dispute. It's really phenomenal for chronic pain, neurogenic pain, fibromyalgia pain, the symptoms of MS, cancer, and AIDS. Marijuana provides benefit and support for those folks, helps bring back a healthy appetite, reduces the inflammation of glaucoma. Lots and lots of studies that you can find on the benefits of marijuana. On the other side of the aisle, you have lots of research showing that there's risks involved, and risks involved in anything that's a drug, really, in terms of side effects. There's always going to be side effects. And the side effects for marijuana are much, much worse for kids when they start in their adolescent years. And 1 in 15 high school kids are using marijuana, and now that its medical use is becoming popular, kids are thinking it's okay, no problem. And the reality is that when kids start, they can have, or more likely to have, irreversible cognitive damage, reduction in IQ and intelligence when they start early. If you start later on in life, you're not so likely to have that kind of impact. So the dangers are this kind of legalizing, making marijuana seem like it's a harmless drug is risky because it is a drug, it is addictive, and it does have permanent damage according to the studies. And I cite the research, and I cite all the references for that research on both sides of the aisle in the article associated with this video. So please look into that. It's really important that we are educated so we can educate our kids about the benefits, the potential dangers of this. And there's just no question that marijuana use has been linked to school dropouts, the use of other drugs which can be more dangerous, and many mental health concerns. So it's important. From the Ayurvedic perspective, medical marijuana gets rid of pain. That's the number one thing that it does, gets rid of pain. Well, in Ayurveda, there's an old saying that says the pain is directly across from the bliss, the love, the power, your true self, you could say. And the reason for the pain is to get your attention so you can go to the pain, through the pain, access who you are, and let that version of yourself out, if that makes any sense. So the whole point of pain was sort of a roadmap. And we have a culture, you get depressed, you take an antidepressant, you have pain, you take an aspirin, you have painkillers. We don't allow pain anymore. We're not allowed to feel it because it's uncomfortable. But traditionally, it was understood that pain was actually a good thing, and it was a roadmap for you to go through the pain, and you come out the other side a better person. I think we all know that. And I think we all know that we are a culture that eradicates pain, probably too good at that. Well, in Ayurveda, when you go through the pain, you actually have a spiritual growth, an emotional growth, level of maturity. Some of the research when I did this for this article, I found that when you look at Alcoholics Anonymous, they say in some of their research that the minute that the person starts to use drugs or alcohol or marijuana, their emotional maturity stops at that level. They don't grow emotionally at that point because they're blocking the pain. And it's important for us to go through that. So that's one piece of information. Now, when in Ayurvedic medicine, it's important for us to experience the pain and go through it. Now, there's 3 mental body types. One is called sattva. I've reported on this in the past. Sattva is the heart wide open, giving like the sun, feeling willing to be vulnerable enough to be your full, delicate, vulnerable, powerful self on the planet. Sort of like a saint, you could say. That's risky on this planet, definitely risky as a kid. We all use our senses to find other ways of becoming satisfied. Money, power, fame, candy, ice cream, Coke, sodas, things that stimulate our senses make us satisfied. Because traditionally, ideally, we're satisfied just being joyful and loving for no reason, because that's just our nature. But that's difficult in our culture, and we're constantly being attracted and exposed to different sensory stimuli that take us outside and provide temporary levels of satisfaction. And that's called rajasic behavior, stimulating the senses to feel satisfied. But it's never enough because it's all about the mind. The mind wants a bigger car, a bigger house, a bigger yard. It's never a big, more shoes, more clothes, the best next computer, the newest iPhone. We're constantly looking for that next thing to temporarily stimulate us through our senses. Well, that stimulation gets overused, worn out. After a while, it doesn't do it for you anymore, and you become overstimulated, depleted, and exhausted. The mind then goes to wanting to withdraw, to protect, and to check out. alcohol, marijuana use, other drugs are what we call tamasic drugs. And they put you into a cocoon, a wall where you don't feel anything any longer. And you're safe in that place. The whole major thrust of what drives us as human beings is to be safe. We always wanted to be safe as kids. We wanted our parents to love us. So we became a straight A student or became a class clown or something to make them love us, so we felt safe. And when we started to realize the kids were mean and it was unsafe, we decided to find other ways to become safe, becoming a class clown or a bully, or looking for stimulation through our senses, ice cream, candy, sweets, things like that, make us feel good. But it's temporary. And eventually the senses and the body gets exhausted and it looks for ways to recluse and withdraw from society. It's a dangerous place. But pot, marijuana, is a tamasic drug. It actually stops the brain from thinking, stops us from feeling, so we feel safe, and it blocks the pain. And the pain is the way out of that tamasic place to re-enter into a stimulated world and back into an experience of yourself, if any of this makes sense. So the idea is that when you are taking a lot of marijuana, we use it as an escape, as a way to check out of the world. And it's much more difficult to re-enter in the world because it's safer there. And that's what makes marijuana so risky, because you become addicted to go into this tamasic protective cocoon where you stop feeling. But we must force this issue and re-enter into this world of stimulation so we could hopefully get back to what we're really truly longing for, which is a deeper experience of ourselves, to be loving and joyful for no reason. So those are the risks from the Ayurvedic perspective, is that it is a tamasic drug which has no access to your heart, to your true self. The mind, when you're stimulated in a rajasic behavior, has some access to the truth of your heart, your true self, but lots of stimulation that we can choose one or the other. And when you're living in a sattvic environment, in a sattvic world, you are deeply connected and very content just being the sun, being yourself. You don't need anything to be satisfied. The risk of the tamasic world, no access to the heart. The rajasic world has choice. The sattvic world is content. It is all heart, all love, all consciousness. It's deeply content and joyful and loving for no reason. So please read this I think, very interesting article and perspective on marijuana. Definitely let your kids know early on, if they're starting, this is a dangerous road to hoe. Don't let your kids do that without becoming aware, and make sure that you've been properly educated. So I please encourage you, read the article associated with this video. Thanks for listening. I'm Dr. John Douillard.